presenta en la W Boletín de Deportes. El mejor tenista de todos los tiempos.
Hello everybody, it's Roger Federar here. Come watch me on Friday, November 22nd at the Movistar Arena in Bogota. I'll be playing there against Roger Federar, and maybe if you listen to this station here on W Radio, you're going to win some tickets as well, and I'll see you in the stadium. And make some noise if you do come.
Roger Federar, hoy, solo en la W.
Aquí está Roger Federar en la W. Andrés, su invitado.
Bueno, y a esta hora tenemos comunicación con uno de los más grandes atletas del mundo, de la historia. El hombre con más títulos de Grand Slam. El hombre quizás, junto a Lionel Messi, el atleta más reconocido del mundo, el mejor tenista de la historia. El señor Roger Federar está con nosotros a esta hora en la W. Va a estar muy pronto en nuestro país. Roger, hello, good morning, and welcome to W Radio. How are you?
Thank you, good morning. I'm great. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Where are you right now?
So I'm in Switzerland right now, and just getting ready for London, and still relaxing a little bit after Basel. About to go practice this afternoon, and just get back in shape. So, yeah, things are great. I'm very happy with the season so far.
Bueno, está en este momento Roger Federar en Suiza, se está preparando para viajar a Londres, muy contento con cómo va su temporada este año.
And with London, your tournament season is over, right?
Well, not really. I keep going. I'm going to go to South America for some exhibition matches, as you know, and I'm really excited about them, actually. 2012, I believe, when I went on a South America tour, and I came to Bogota as well. Was a trip of a lifetime for me. My dad came with me. We still talk about it, and I can't wait to come back. So officially, yes, the season stopped after London, but then I'll see you all in Bogota on Friday, November 22nd.
No termina la temporada para Roger Federar en Londres. Está muy contento y muy emocionado por los Juegos de Exhibición que hará en Sudamérica, en nuestro país, el 22 de noviembre. Ya vino en 2012, recuerda ese viaje con mucha emoción porque también vino con sus hijas y habla, dice Roger Federar, que es algo que recuerdan en familia muchas veces.
Exactly, you're going to be here. And Roger, when they told you about coming back to Colombia, what was the thing you remember the most? Like you said, hey, yeah, I remember what I did that day. What do you remember about that day back in December? You played Joe Wilfried Tsonga here. What was the thing you remember the most?
It was just, number one, it was just good fun, with Joe Wilfried Tsonga. I thought the match went great. And honestly, when I look back and I talk about Bogota, what I think about the most is actually how loud it was. It might have been the stadium where, in my life, when I walked out on court, it was the loudest ever. So for the next few weeks or months or matches after that, whenever I walked on court, it never felt the same. And I was like, where are the people from Colombia? We need them in the stadium every day. So that's really what I remember the most. It was just an incredible welcome, great atmosphere, and I just enjoyed every minute out on court. It was really that special.
Lo que más recuerda Roger Federar de ese viaje a nuestro país en 2012 fue la acogida del público colombiano, la manera como lo acogieron en ese partido contra Joe Tsonga, y dice que es el partido más ruidoso que ha jugado en su vida y que en los meses posteriores, los juegos posteriores, él entraba a la cancha sintiendo dónde está esta gente, dónde está ese apoyo, porque nunca había sentido algo igual a lo que le dio el público colombiano.
Roger, why pick Alexander Zverev? I mean, when they tell you about the tour and you say, okay, I'm going, let's pick a rival, why Alexander? I mean, what do you like about him?
Well, number one, he's a future champion. He's already a superstar right now in Germany and in the game of tennis, and I get along very well with Alexander. And then also, I think it's important as I'm going on this South America tour, really, is that I play with somebody who people already know, that we're bringing the best tennis players in the game there, with me and Alexander. I think it's going to be great. He's also very fan-friendly, He's a very likable guy, and in a way, I'm going to be able to introduce him to Colombia, which I think is going to be very exciting for him as well, of course.
Eligió Roger Federer a Alexander Zverev como el tenista con el que se va a encontrar aquí en nuestro país. En ese juego va a ser contra quien va a jugar, y dice que lo hace porque además de ser ya una superestrella en Alemania, será un campeón, se lleva muy bien con él, es una persona muy agradable y lo invita a esta gira por Sudamérica porque cree que es una persona cercana con los fanáticos, que vale la pena que lo conozcan, pero además por su calidad van a presentar un muy buen espectáculo a todos los fanáticos del tenis.
Roger, looking back at this year, 2019, what's your perception of, I mean, when you started this year, do you think now that it was better than what you thought it was going to be in January, or perhaps something was missing? How do you look back at this season?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's you cannot deny the fact that obviously it's hard to look past Wimbledon and think that I was one shot away from winning Wimbledon, this year. So that would change the season from a really good one to an incredible one. I do believe I did play well at the Grand Slams this year. It took, the best players in the world to beat me there. And other than that, I mean, I must say I played great at the Hopman Cup, also the Laver Cup. I won 4 other events. And I really felt like I was playing at a really high level throughout. I didn't lose many matches this year. So I think overall I can be very happy with my tennis. Am I missing maybe that one last big title this year? Maybe, with that match point not making that one at Wimbledon. Definitely. I still have a chance, at the World Tour Finals in London, and that's why I'm resting and really making sure I'm at an absolute 110% really, for the World Tour Finals. And, other than that, I'm looking ahead as well to next season and just want to make sure I have a great next season again. And if I know I can win another 4 or 5 titles next season, I will be very happy with that.
El balance de Roger Federer de su temporada este año 2019 dice que ha sido una muy buena temporada, pero sin duda carga en sus espaldas con Wimbledon. Le faltó 1 punto para ganar ese torneo y dice que haber ganado Wimbledon había cambiado la temporada de ser muy buena a ser excelente. Sin embargo, jugó contra los mejores en esta temporada, dice que perdió muy pocos partidos, se sintió en un muy buen nivel. Ahora se prepara para este viaje a Londres, en el que se asegura de llegar en el 110% y dar lo mejor de sí, y por supuesto preparando ya la temporada 2020.
Roger, this is a question that it always comes to my mind when I think about you and recognized athletes. Do you at some point say like, hey, I wish I wasn't Roger Federer, or I wish it just wasn't famous so I could walk the street like everybody else? Because I think of course that at some point it must be hard, not be able to go to a movie with your kids, things like that. Do you at some point say like, hey, I'd rather be just a Joan Doe walking down the streets?
Look, I mean, I see what you're saying, and but I think my life living in Switzerland is not as bad. I live in the mountains in Switzerland, and honestly, we don't have that many people there. It's a big, vast area with a lot of trees and mountains and rivers and lakes and everything. So people also respect their privacy there. Of course, if I go down the main street in a big city, of course, it's maybe not the smartest thing to do, and because you can get recognized, and one person recognizes you and it keeps on going. But even if you're keeping on the move, actually you're able to live somewhat of a normal life. I don't have a life with bodyguards in Switzerland or in my life, which I'm very happy about. I'm driving the cars by myself. I enjoy going everywhere. I really feel like I have a lot of freedom. Of course, when the kids are around, you think ahead where you're going to go, what you're going to do, but at the same time, I really try to give them the best and most simplest upbringing that I possibly can in this life that I have now and with the fame that I have. But it'd be wrong if I started complaining about my fame. I'm actually very happy that with everything that I have achieved, and maybe to some extent what I am to certain people, I feel I can live a normal life. I have a really still great group of friends around me, family. I don't know. I don't feel like I am the super famous whatever player, athlete, person in this world that needs special treatment. And I think that's through great upbringing, but also always remaining in Switzerland and growing up here.
¿cómo es lidiar con la fama? ¿Le gustaría ser un poco menos famoso para llevar una vida más tranquila o más normal? Le pregunta Andrés a Roger Federer, y él no reniega de su fama. Dice que su vida en Suiza pues es muy buena, una vida muy tranquila. Él vive en una montaña con poca gente, con mucha naturaleza, y la gente es muy respetuosa. Por supuesto, cree que si viviera en una gran ciudad la cosa sería un poco distinta porque lo podrían reconocer fácilmente, pero aún así él dice que lleva una vida normal, sin guardaespaldas, sin choferes. Él maneja sus carros, hace su vida normal, sale, camina. Obviamente el tema de sus hijos, tiene mucho cuidado con ellos, pero también intenta que crezcan dentro de una vida muy tranquila y muy normal. Estaría mal quejarse de la fama, es lo que dice Roger Federer, porque si bien él entiende el reconocimiento que hay por su carrera deportiva, él cree que no merece ningún trato especial, no se queja del afecto y del reconocimiento de la gente.
Do you want your kids to play tennis? I mean, is it something that you wish for them, or?
I mean, it's a good question. I get that asked quite a lot, actually. So I want my girls and my boys to both play a little bit, as I have 4 children, because all our friends have probably somewhat of a tennis background. All the kids also play tennis. So I really don't want my children to be the only ones not playing tennis. So that's why I have them play tennis, and I also like them, girls are playing the piano as well. Even though tennis might not be their number one favorite sport, they prefer horseback riding, and they prefer skiing and swimming over tennis, but they're okay with a great group of friends. But I don't want them to be a professional tennis player one day. The boys are showing a little bit more signs of maybe more being more interested, but we'll see. I mean, look, I'll support my children any shape or form, especially when it comes to sports anyhow, but they don't have to be professional tennis players by any means, no.
Bueno, si sus hijos jugarán al tenis, es algo que él desea y dice que quiere que jueguen, por supuesto, porque todos sus amigos y los hijos de sus amigos juegan tenis de manera recreativa, y pues no quiere que sus hijos sean los únicos que no practiquen este deporte. Pero sus hijas están más interesadas en otros deportes, como el esquí, la natación o la equitación. Sus hijos, los niños, los varones, están más emocionados con el tenis. No quiere que sus hijos sean jugadores de tenis profesionales. Quisiera apoyarlos en cualquier carrera que ellos decidan, por supuesto si es en el marco del deporte, él contento, pero no es una exigencia para él que sus hijos jueguen al tenis profesionalmente.
Roger, at age 38, which you are right now, would you say you train less than what you did 15 years ago, that you train harder, or that you train better?
Yeah, it's a good one. I think I train with more purpose for sure. I have more experience now. The great thing is about being 38 is I don't have to prove to myself anymore how much I need to train, that I can handle a long match like a Wimbledon finals, or that I can handle the pressure. I know that these things come naturally. Of course, I need to keep on working extremely precise and very smart, when I go to the tennis court, but I nearly don't have to just put in the hours just to put them in. Because when I was younger, 16, 18, 22, 24, I still had to show to myself, can I practice 4 hours in a row? Can I do an hour of fitness on top of it and do that, sort of 5-6 days in a row? Today I don't need to do that anymore, It's okay if I do one day of 3-4 hours, and then the next day I do 2-3 hours, and the next day I take a day off. Mm-hmm. As long as I stay injury free and actually really fresh, that's how the hunger will always be there, and I'm super motivated when I go to the tennis. It's more about not destroying fire for the game. It's about igniting it rather by almost not playing too much, but no, I think it's about training smartly, like you said. I think it's the key for me at this age.
A los 38 años, Roger Federer entrena más, menos o mejor, de una manera más eficiente. Y lo que dice es que entrena con más experiencia y con sus propósitos mucho más claros que cuando era más joven. A los 38 años, el tenista ya sabe que no tiene que probarse a sí mismo que puede sostener muchas horas en una cancha o lo que tiene que hacer con su propio cuerpo. Ya sabe que él puede manejar un partido largo, puede estar 4 o 5 horas en una cancha y ya naturalmente su cuerpo le responde. Ahora entrena de una manera distinta. Puede entrenar 2-3 horas diarias, un día, al día siguiente, y luego descansar. Antes entrenaba 5 o 6 horas diarias y lo hacía por 5 o 6 días de la semana. A él, en este punto, lo que le importa es mantenerse motivado en su juego y mantenerse lejos de las lesiones que puedan venir a los 38 años.
But would you say long matches is sort of the point where you're less strong now? I mean, when matches start to get long, then that is something that you feel.
No, because I feel like I can pace my with my experience and the stress level not being as high as maybe it was when I was 20. You also save a lot of energy, you know. So I know how to use the energy throughout the match. Do you maybe recover slightly slower at a certain age? Yeah, I do believe that because when you're a teenager, you recover much faster. But that's where I don't play nearly that many tournaments anymore. You know, back in 2006, I played like 90 matches. Now I play 60 matches, so that is 30 less, and I can always adjust my schedule like I just did now. I don't play Paris because I want to save the body and save the mind for something different, you know. And so this, I just have to be very clever, I think, with my scheduling. But to be quite honest, for me, a 5-setter or a lot of 3-setters in as many days can be equally challenging, but I don't feel like I'm more stressed nowadays, or my recovery is actually that much slower than it was 10 years ago.
Bueno, le pregunta Andrés si son ahora los partidos largos los que más le cuestan, cuando esos partidos que empiezan a entrar en una fase de alargue es cuando su cuerpo lo resiente más, y dice que no, porque él ya sabe manejar el estrés, tiene la experiencia, puede manejar esas condiciones y eso hace que él regule mucho mejor su energía. También dice que es importante entender el tema del calendario durante la temporada. Él lo ha ido ajustando con el tiempo. En 2016 jugaba más o menos 90 partidos. Este año jugó 60, son 30 partidos menos, y él se va adaptando. No jugó en París, en Roland Garros, porque quería darle a su cuerpo el descanso que necesitaba para recuperarse y para poder seguir con la temporada de manera exitosa.
Roger, if in 2020, I mean, if next year I could give you one title, I mean, like, hey, this is one title you're going to have for sure, would that be the gold medal in Tokyo? Would that be the one you choose?
I think it would be in the conversation, yes. I don't know if I would pick the Olympic gold over another Wimbledon, just because Wimbledon was always the holy grail and everything for me. But it is true, I've just announced, a few weeks ago that I will play the Tokyo Olympics 2020, and honestly, I'm so excited, to be back in an Olympic game. I missed Rio in 2016 because of my knee issues. That was a hard blow for me. And I've had so many incredible moments at the Olympic Games. I carried the flag twice for Switzerland in 2004 and 2008. I got the gold in doubles with Wawrinka in Beijing, and then got the silver in London in singles, and then I met my wife, Mirka, in the Sydney 2000. So of course, yes, it's definitely right up there, maybe number 1, number 2 choice. If I could choose anything, it'd probably be Wimbledon or another Olympic gold, yeah.
Si le pudiéramos dar una medalla ya para 2020, ¿qué elegiría Roger Federer? Pues Wimbledon es para él su deseo más anhelado, pero además también habla de Tokio, de los Juegos Olímpicos de Tokio para mediados del próximo año, y dice que por supuesto una medalla de oro en los Olímpicos también sería muy importante para él. Él se perdió los Juegos Olímpicos de Río por una lesión en la rodilla, fue un momento muy difícil para él, pero ha participado en otros, en Londres, también estuvo en China, donde tuvo muy buenos resultados.
Roger, when we think of you, it's unavoidable to think about the other guys who are there with you, Novak and Rafa. Well, those that were before, because you've been there so many, like Andre Agassi and Pete. But do you think Rafa and Novak made you a better tennis player? I mean, like Cristiano and Messi, make each other better. Do you think the competition between you guys actually make you guys better each day?
Yeah, yes, 100%. In the beginning, you're just trying to beat him, and then later you're trying to improve, to keep beating him or to beat him again, because maybe you haven't beaten him in a while. And then later you actually really start appreciating what they've done to your career, how much they've maybe pushed you and maybe forced you to adjust, because I think over every 5 years also the game adjusts. maybe not even so much the competition, but the game evolves. Maybe they serve bigger, maybe they play more from the baseline, maybe the balls have changed, maybe they're faster again, maybe more people come to the net again, who knows. So I think every 5 years you see a slight adjustment, and you see Rafa playing quite different nowadays than he was, sort of 15 years ago when he came on tour. Novak also plays quite different nowadays. He's so much more secure with his game. He knows who he is, and you know what you're going to get with those players, but it's at such a high level. And I think this is what these two guys have done so well, for the last almost 15 years. It's just that they've gotten a consistency that is just rare, at the top level sport, and that's why I admire them the most. It's just like every day they come to practice, every day they come to the match, and you're going to see a great performance, and that honestly deserves a lot of respect.
Tener rivales en la cancha como Novak Djokovic o Rafael Nadal hacen mejor la competencia, dice Roger Federer, porque por supuesto al principio al jugar contra ellos pues lo que se quiere es ganarles, pero con el paso del tiempo también puede él apreciar lo que jugar contra ellos ha hecho en su carrera, cómo lo han forzado a cambiar su juego, adaptar su juego, a apreciar el juego del otro. Dice que en el tenis cada 5 años más o menos se da un reajuste de las condiciones en el juego y que la consistencia que han mantenido jugadores como Rafa o como Djokovic pues es admirable porque es raro mantenerse en lo más alto del deporte de una manera tan prolongada. 15 años, ve cómo ha cambiado el juego de Rafa, ve cómo Djokovic se ha vuelto un hombre mucho más seguro con su juego, por lo menos en las canchas de tenis.
Roger, because of your age, you're playing players. I mean, Zverev, one of them, who grew up looking after you. I mean, you were their idol. You were the one your example. You were the one they looked after. What do they tell you when you shake hands in the court? Probably the first time they play you, like, hey, I used to look up to you. And does that make you remember the guys you looked up to? Like, I don't know. You probably grew up looking up to Boris Becker, Ivan Lendl, Stefan Edberg, Agassi, Sampras. What do you guys talk when you shake hands and say like, hey, this guy is my idol. I just played him.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's like a dream come true when it happens to you as a player. And I honestly enjoy that moment when I'm playing against somebody who I know like literally admired me his entire career. Now I played Alex de Minaur. I don't know if I was his idol growing up. I don't think so. Otherwise I would know, but I just played him in the finals of Basel. And when I played my first time in Basel back in 1998, and I got a wild card and I played against Andre Agassi in the first round, Alex de Minaur was not even born yet. So, of course, I'm playing against players nowadays, that have witnessed my entire career. And guys like Zverev or Tsitsipas and others have really also vocally just been out there saying like, well, Roger was my hero. It's incredible what it means for me to play against him. And it actually, in the very beginning when that happened, that was very odd and very weird, But then I remembered myself back how it was for me playing Sampras and Agassi, guys I looked up to, and I could barely not hold my racket. I was shaking and I had cold hands and I was so nervous, and it was such a dream come true walking onto the biggest arenas of the world, because the problem on top of playing me or Sampras or anybody, you're not going to be on court 25. You're always going to be on the big court, and that adds to the excitement and the nerves. So, I mean, look, it means a lot to me. And at the handshake, what did they say? That usually it's like, oh, it meant so much to me. You've been so great to me. It's such a pleasure. And I'm like, well, same to me. I wish you all the best. Good luck. What a great match you've played. You don't have much time at the net, to be quite honest. You move on with things and shake the umpire's hand, and it's all over already.
A sus 38 años, muchos de los rivales que enfrenta Roger Federer lo vieron como un ídolo mientras crecían y se convertían en jugadores de tenis profesional. ¿Qué siente Roger Federer? Pues dice que para él es muy emocionante muchas veces llegar a la cancha, darse la mano con jugadores muy jóvenes que le manifiestan su admiración, que lo tratan como a su ídolo, porque él vivió eso mismo cuando era muy joven con jugadores como Andre Agassi o Pete Sampras, y dice que sumado a los nervios de conocer al ídolo, lo conocen en los grandes circuitos del tenis. Muchos nervios, tiemblan las manos, tiembla la raqueta, pero es una sensación muy linda la que él comparte con algunos de esos rivales cuando tienen ese intercambio de palabras.
Roger, because you're a celebrity, you meet a lot of people. You get to know a lot of people. Is there someone that you wish to know that you haven't met so far? I don't know, Tiger Woods or President Obama. Because you've met so many people. You're incredibly well known around the world. Is there someone that you say, like, hey, I'd love to meet this guy and get to speak with him 2 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, look, you're right. I mean, I've been very lucky. I'm very fortunate. I've met a lot of incredible athletes, musicians, even politicians and world leaders and so forth. And, and sometimes they mean more to you, sometimes less. But at the end of the day, I think I'm very fortunate. And I really try not to make too big of a difference between somebody who's actually famous or successful to somebody who's actually normal, has got a normal life and the normal struggles that we all go through, you know. At the end of the day, we all, put on the pants the same way in the morning, you know. There's no secrets there. So, but of course, I enjoy meeting musicians. I feel like athletes and musicians have something in common because we play in front of a live audience. Or I love meeting other athletes as well, just because it is inspiring, you know, like if you're at the Olympics or you meet somebody who trained so hard, like in gymnastics, for instance, for this one perfect jump to land it, you know, at a certain time. I admire that. And then, of course, you know, like bright minds like a Bill Gates or others who have also supported my foundation, you know, it's like you meet these people who are so bright and have done so much also good things in the world, you know, through their philanthropic efforts. That's really who I've also been very inspired by. And I've always would have loved to meet Nelson Mandela, because my mom being South African, you know, she grew up there, and I used to always go on vacation there. Nelson Mandela always had a profound impact on the country and so many other people. But unfortunately, I never got to meet him, and that's one of my big regrets I have.
Well, Roger, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to seeing you here.
I can't wait.
Anything in particular you want to eat? Anything
particular I want to eat?
Yeah, do you remember anything about Colombian food?
I like the meat, you know, so I'm ready to go. I'm happy to try out stuff. I'm not afraid, and I remember we had a good night out as well, as it was the last match of the tour.
Andrés Carne de Res, it's called the place.
Yeah, we had a great time, so I can't wait to come back, and I really hope that the stadium is going to be as loud as last time. And anyway, can't thank you to have you enough on the show, and I'll see you all very, very soon already.
Bueno, ha conocido a muchísimas personas famosas, Roger Federer, a quien le gustaría conocer o le habría gustado conocer, y dice que uno de sus grandes remordimientos es no haber podido conocer a Nelson Mandela también, porque más allá de todo lo que representa Nelson Mandela para Sudáfrica, también es lo que su madre, sudafricana, le transmitió a Federer sobre lo que él representó para ese país. Pero ha conocido a mucha gente que encuentra inspiradora, músicos, atletas, líderes mundiales, empresarios, filántropos, políticos, y para él algunos nombres, Bill Gates, por ejemplo, que además lo ha apoyado en su fundación, pero dice que sin duda alguna para él lo importante es tratar de no hacer ninguna diferencia entre personas famosas y personas que no lo son, porque al final todos los seres humanos tenemos muchas cosas en común que no tienen nada que ver con la fama. Quiere comer carne, quiere ir a Andrés Carne de Res una vez aquí en Colombia, ya lo hizo cuando visitó nuestro país en 2012 y espera repetir la experiencia este 22 de noviembre.
Bueno, entonces ya Andrés, pues, se puede ir, ¿no, Alberto?
Sí.
¿Qué más?
Sí.
La repite la entrevista a las 3 y a las 4.
Para el mes. Ya queda listo el mes.
No, pero
gracias,
muy buena, muy buena.
Muy grata. El diálogo se ve que él estaba a gusto y unas preguntas muy agradables.
Y la sencillez de
era una entrevista para por lo general 5 minutos,
Sí,
pero
correcto.
este señor no se quería ir. Es más, si Andrés no le cuelga, él sigue.
Estaba a gusto, sin duda, y me parece que es excepcional, porque aunque escrito he visto algunas tal vez en Bocas hubo una entrevista, es muy difícil que le dedique tanto tiempo a un periodista y mezcle las preguntas deportivas con las no deportivas.